Hey guys, my name is Bart and welcome to a new episode. I'm now at the Battleship Park next to Hunger River here in Seoul City, and I'm about to meet a friend of mine. And he used to be in the US Navy. When he got deployed in this region for 7 months on an aircraft carrier, for 7 months on the ocean. And it was during a time when the tension between China, North Korea and America was quite high. So I'm really curious how it was for him to be on a ship during that tense time for 7 months.
Where's the magic gone? Where did it run to? Never thought it'd leave, but I'm
They deployed you
Yeah,
on an aircraft carrier.
yeah, the John C. Stennis. It's a Nimitz class super carrier. It has like 2 nuclear reactors that they use.
I've seen the pictures, man. The ship is massive.
It's 1,000 feet long, which is, I think, 333 meters. I forgot my metric system. And it's just unbelievably loud, especially since, even though 1,000 feet is quite long, the aircraft that are on there are quite powerful. Still, they have to, basically what they do is they put the engine into full throttle, right? And just go off, right? When the engine is in full throttle, it shakes your skull. Your brain is shaking. And
Shit, it's scary, man.
And it's like right next to you too. Like, I remember very shortly after we got into the Philippines, the Sea of Philippines, we were started to be shadowed by a Chinese ship. I think they're about 10 nautical miles, where you can, from the technically you can see about 10 miles. I could see it. Sometimes I'll go out and smoke. It's like, oh fuck, he's right there.
The Chinese.
Yeah, dude, it's like you could see it, and there's a bit of terror because again, I don't know what's really happening.
Mm-hmm.
No one really tells us everything because we don't need to know. From my experience being there, it was uncomfortable. Like, why are you shadowing us? But it makes sense. They're playing war games.
You communicate with them, right?
Well, they have to.
So what do you say? Yo,
What you doing here?
yeah. I just imagine the conversation is.
Kill America, get out of my sea. Sorry. The first sailors to ever do it were the Russians. Yeah, they were the first ones to make that sailor uniform. Watch your head, always. Like, get in a habit of just kind of ducking.
Yeah.
Even for somebody my height, I always duck too.
Oh, fuck.
That's what I'm saying. Watch your head, man.
Is this the barbershop? And again.
Maybe I should record you hitting your. Dude, I'm telling you, you gotta duck, man.
This is how I look right now.
What kind of cut you want? You want just a little bit up the top, right here?
I want shiny.
Shiny?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Maybe bald for a change.
For a change. That'd be a good change, right? So this looks like to me a very. So there's a difference between officers and then enlisted, right?
Yeah.
So this looks to me like an enlisted for enlisted personnel. The reason why is because it's not so comfortable. I know that we were supposed to pull into Hong Kong at a certain point. It was one of their first stops, and I was so excited. Like, Hong Kong, right? Like, that's Hong Kong, Jackie Chan, man. Like, yeah. And everyone was so excited. Almost last minute, we got an announcement, and they said, unfortunately, due to some circumstances, we are not able to pull into the Hong Kong port. China was basically saying, oh, at this moment, it's inconvenient for you guys to come. Where it became really complicated was rumors and started to whisper throughout the halls of the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
These cold, hollow walls, and people started to talk because we weren't to understand what's happening. So I remember at one point there was some fear. Somebody spread a rumor, we're going to war with China. Like, what do you mean we're going to war with China, right? And people started to talk, and there's a little bit of panic because we were always aware they were shadowing us. And then the Hong Kong thing, I'm like, oh my God, are we really going to war with China, right? Mm-hmm. And especially I was still young at the time, so it was scary. So,
Oh yeah, I see why it's not so comfortable.
dude, you would have such a tough time on this ship.
Yeah.
So this, to me, seems like where the enlisted guys and girls would sleep. So typically it's like that, right? Three racks on top of each other, across from each other. The only privacy you get is this, right? That's the privacy you get.
Right.
For me, we had our bunk and mattress would open up like this for all my uniforms, things. We were pulling into Busan. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I didn't know anything about Korea at the time, right? The most interesting thing happened, which didn't happen in any other country we pulled into. The moment we were pulling out on the bus, there's so many people protesting. They would say, go back to America, we don't want you here, get out, you know what I mean? In more cruel ways that I'm not going to say. But I was just like, just waving out the window, you know, because I was kind of ignorant too.
Not all South Koreans are happy about the current war games with the United States.
But later I found out, much later, May 6th, 2016.
Among other things, he talked about North Korea's nuclear arsenal, saying his country would only use nuclear weapons if they're provoked. But around the world, there's growing concern about new satellite images that appear to show activity at a North Korean nuclear test site.
And also at the time, things started to get really tense because they lost one of their submarines that was a top secret submarine of theirs. I know from just being on the ship, we were looking for a submarine.
Pyongyang is said to be desperately seeking a missing submarine.
So I had a little bit of fear. I didn't understand what was happening. Occasionally, I would hear sonar pings ping throughout the halls of the ship. It would go boom, boom. I don't understand if it was a submarine searching for us or was it us searching for the submarine. It's like being blindfolded in the dark and then you just hear some shit, but you don't know what's going on. But you know it's there. It knows you're there, but you don't know where it's at. And then we were really angry we were working with Koreans because South Korea and the United States has a really cool military exercise together to do just in case of war.
Yeah.
So then North Korea was saying, oh, by you being here, you are telling us that you're declaring nuclear war upon us. That now makes sense to me why, when we came to Busan, some people were really upset because they were probably worried that because we're there, that North Korea might attack because tensions were really high at the time in South Korea. No private bathroom, but at least you have privacy, private this, right?
They'd just be in a sink for sure.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Because there's multiple sound systems on board.
You know where Philips is from, right?
Japan.
Nope.
Dutch?
Yes.
What the fuck, dude? Okay, you can have that one. I'll take the uniform. Nobody sees that stuff.
Were your fellow Navy guys mistrustful to you because you were Russian?
No.
Oh, you're super communist.
No. There was actually a lot of jokes around my command about that because everyone knew I was Russian. So they're like, "Hey, you commie bastard," you know. They'll say something like that, and I never took it personally. I thought it was quite funny. So I would sometimes say, "Yeah, dude, I'm fucking gonna take all your secrets and run away," which I got to be careful when I say that because some people might take it seriously. But obviously, I'm not.
Lastly, you visit Pearl Harbor.
Yes.
To commemorate, right?
Yes.
And that was a cool experience.
It was so cool because we had something called RIMPAC, and basically what happens is many countries are invited into Hawaii, and everybody is like this huge. It's like the biggest naval exercise possible. But basically, I think the idea of it is just to kind of establish relationships. Even China was there. Even they fucking told us to off. They didn't let us enter there, but they were welcome. And their ship was actually next to ours. So we saw a lot of Chinese officers and stuff like that. Once you go there, you can see the ships are still sunk. And here's the crazy part: there's still oil coming up from these little bubble pockets, or just really small strings of oil still coming out from the ships. And it's been 75 years. It was an honor. Honestly, it was an honor to be able to be there. But other than what I just said, the funnest part was partying with everyone because there's sailors all around the world, and Australians are the craziest ones, and they're really, really crazy guys. And the funny thing is, the more drunk they get, the more I can't understand their English. Look, man, I am a very good listener. I can understand any accent, but when those guys are drunk, I don't understand shit. And they're so aggressive too, but in a fun way, right?
All right. Thank you guys for watching.
Where's the magic
See you next time.
gone?
Bye, guys.
Hello.
Where did it run to? Never thought it'd leave, but I'm left with an emptiness. Won't you tell